previous year that we started this session, morning session, and we started with Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So let's begin. It's Gaur Purnima approaching next Saturday, which is the appearance day of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So it is, once again. Okay. So let us recite this verse. I will recite it once and then I will leave it up to the devotees to recite once. Dhyeyam sada paribhavagnam abhishtadoham tirthaspadam shiva virinchinutam sharanyam dhrityartiham pranatapala bhavabdipotam vande mahapurushate charanarabindam. Let me recite it once more. This is a little difficult verse, but nonetheless we'll try to recite it by the blessings of Mahaprabhu and our acharyas. Dhyeyam sada paribhavagnam abhishtadoham tirthaspadam shiva virinchinutam sharanyam dhrityartiham pranatapala bhavabdipotam vande mahapurushate charanarabindam. Okay, would somebody like to recite the translation for this verse?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Can you recite the translation, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. My dear Lord, you are Mahapurusha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I worship your lotus feet, which are the only eternal object of meditation. Those feet destroy the embarrassing conditions of material life and freely award the greatest desire of the soul, the attainment of pure love of Godhead. My dear Lord, your lotus feet are the shelter of all holy places and of all saintly authorities in the line of devotional service, and are honored by powerful demigods like Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. My Lord, you are so kind that you willingly protect all those who simply bow down to you with respect, and thus you mercifully relieve all the distress of your servants. In conclusion, my Lord, your lotus feet are actually the suitable boat for crossing over the ocean of birth and death. And therefore, even Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva seek shelter at your lotus feet. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Mataji, you are not audible to me. I am not sure for others.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes. Can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Shweta Mataji, for the translation. So once we read the translation, then we get to understand what are we reciting. So just wanted to have a brief translation. Okay. Madhusudan Prabhu, would you be able to chant the first line twice?
I will try. Deyam sada parivagnan avishtadoham tirthaprasadam.
Paribhavagnam abhishtadoham. Yeah.
Deyam sada paribhavagnam bhavishtadosham doham tirthaprasada siva virinchinutam saranyam.
Okay, let me do one thing, Prabhu. Can I recite once and you'll follow after me? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Dhyeyam sada paribhavagnam abhishtadoham
Deyam sada paribhavagna avishtadoham
tirthaspadam shiva virinchinutam sharanyam
Tirthaspadam shiva virinchinutam sharanyam
dhrityartiham pranatapala bhavabdipotam
Vityartiham pranatapala bhavabdipotam
vande mahapurushate charanarvindam.
Vande Mahapurushate Charanara Vindam. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. So for the sake of time, to save time, let's begin with the verse as it is. Now we can see on the left-hand side the beautiful lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, which have the different symbols that you can see, right? If we scratch our feet, what do we find? We find dust, cracks, pores, correct? But the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu here shows these different symbols. And these different symbols that you can see, each have a meaning to it. Why the symbols are present? They have a meaning to it. So the first line that we read here, Dhyayam sada paribhavagnam abhishtadoham, which means Dhyayam is we have to fix our mind on what? Abhishtadoham charanaravindam. It says in the last that at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu, we have to fix our minds. And what does the benefit it gives? There are 9 glorification of the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. So the 9 things that we will be reading today are Paribhavagnam, which means it is cutting out the material knot. And today we'll be covering only Abhishtadoham and Paribhavagnam. So the moon that you can see on the left hand side, can you see in the image there, the half moon? So the half moon is the Paribhavagnam Abhishtadoham, which means just as the moon showers nectar with its cooling rays, similarly the lotus feet shower nectar upon the devotees, extinguishing the threefold miseries. This Paribhavagnam means the insults of the material existence. So what are the insults of the material existence? The insults of the material existence. For example, a millionaire, if he is asked to supposedly asked to beg on the streets of our Bombay or Bangalore, then what will he feel? He feel insulted, right? So similarly, having got the human birth, I mean, we are all part and parcel of the Lord, and having got the human birth, when we are engaged in sense gratification, or when we are engaged in just considering me, mine, these opportunities, then what are we doing? Paribhavagnam, we are getting insulted by the threefold miseries. What are the threefold miseries? Material miseries. They are the Adi Bhautika Klesha. The Adi Bhautika Klesha deals with the disturbances caused by other living entities around us. Who are the other living entities? It can be our family members, it can be our friends in the disguise or in the sense, the enemies disguised as friends. Who are we staying with? And then it can even deal with the boss, colleague relationship. The different Adi Bhautika Klesha, the different living entities, not only human beings, it also deals with the different mosquito, bugs, cockroaches that we are bothered with. These are the Adi Bhautika Klesha. Then we have the Adi Adhyatmika Klesha, which means the miseries that are caused by our own mind. We feel depressed, we feel anger, we feel frustrated. These are the different miseries caused by our own mind to us. So this is the Adhyatmika Klesha. And what are the Adi Daivika Klesha? Adi Daivika Klesha is what we just experienced recently, the corona. Corona is also a form of Adi Bhautika Klesha, the misery caused by other living entity, just a small virus. And then it has caused a havoc in our lives. So Adi Daivika Klesha is the Klesha which are caused by the other demigods. For example, the famine, floods, or the different natural disasters that happen that we have no control with. Isn't it? So we are all going through all these threefold material miseries in our life. So these are all the Paribhavagnam, the insults that we are facing in the material world. So what is Mahaprabhu's lotus feet granting us? The lotus feet is granting us the cool shade of the moon. When we enter the moonlight, it gives us cool showering rays, right? So this is something that Mahaprabhu's lotus feet is giving to us. It is extinguishing the threefold miseries. Then there is one more reason that the Acharyas quote. Why the Ardha Chandra that you can see there, why is it given there? It also means that the Dhyayam sada means the mind has to be always fixed at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. When the mind has to be fixed, which means the presiding deity of the mind. Who is the presiding deity of the mind? It is the moon. So it says, the minds of the devotees may reside at the feet. They bear the symbol of the moon, which is the Devata or the presiding deity of the mind upon the feet. So by focusing our mind on the lotus feet, what is happening? We are getting the cool rays of Mahaprabhu's lotus feet. The different kleshas that we talked about, they are all getting extinguished. Then there is one more reason for this Ardha Chandra that we see there in the lotus feet of the Lord. That is, just as the moon is one, yet it destroys the darkness seen by many people simultaneously. Similarly, the Lord is one, and yet by his cleverness can deliver many souls at the same time. That is what the Acharyas say. That Mahaprabhu is called Patita Pavana. If somebody is most fallen, if somebody wants to progress in bhakti, but is not able to do it by his own strength, one may have many kleshas or anarthas or bad qualities, anger, greed, pride, envy. There are so many mountains of anarthas in each one of us, or maybe at least for me, in my heart, I have a mountain of anarthas. So what does this moon do? This moon is giving us light in the sense of knowledge. The knowledge that is received when moonlight comes, the darkness is dissipated. So the darkness in our hearts in the form of many bad qualities that I just mentioned, it is eradicated, just as the moon eradicates the darkness. Then the Acharyas said a very beautiful meaning of the half moon, which also indicates that the Lord's toenails are small. They are 10 toenails, just as we have it in the fingers, there are 10 toenails. And these toenails are like this, beautifully like Ardha Chandra. So when these toenails appear, like when Mahaprabhu appears, the actual moon in the sky, it is faded, it is shriveled up in shame. Because Mahaprabhu's lotus feet moon has arisen. So the real moon in the sky it is shriveling in shame and appears in half form. So that is what is depicted here. So this is a very beautiful verse. One may think that Vande Mahapurushate Charanara Vindam. Why this is called Mahapurusha and not as Mahaprabhu? One may think that how it mentions, how this description is only for Mahaprabhu and not for any other Mahapurusha. So the clarification is, this verse is taken from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th chapter and 33rd verse. And the 32nd verse speaks about Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yagner Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Sumedashaha. So some months back, I think Kumarika Mataji had taken this verse, which says that Caitanya Mahaprabhu is going to appear in Kali Yuga. Who is Caitanya Mahaprabhu? He is none other than Sri Krishna himself in the form of a devotee. So how a devotee has to lead his life. So Mahaprabhu has taken appeared in the material world to set an example, to show how a devotee should lead his life or how a devotee should do bhakti to Krishna. This is what Mahaprabhu teaches us. So Krishna appeared in different yugas, like in Satya Yuga, he had the Hamsavatara, which had the white form. In Treta Yuga, he appeared as Ramavatar, the greenish complexion. In Kali Yuga, he appears as Tvisha Krishnam, which means the golden complexion. So the golden complexion of Mahaprabhu is what it is spoken about here. He appears with Sango Pangastra Parshadam, which means he will appear with all his associates. And what will he do? Yagyer Sankirtana Prayer, which means he will be chanting the holy name. So one way to meditate on the lotus feet of Lord Caitanya is to chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This Mahamantra is something that can be chanted sada, always chanted, fit to be meditated upon. So this is something that we can learn from this verse. Dhyeyam sada paribhavagnam abhishtadoham, which means what? By chanting the holy name of Mahaprabhu, we are meditating on his lotus feet, which gives us freedom from all the threefold miseries. And there are other reasons too for this lotus feet symbols. So I would pause here for today and let's continue it tomorrow. Okay, so are there any questions or comments? Okay, we'll pause our discussion here and we will read about the other symbols, the conch, the picture. It's a very beautiful narration of the picture that you can see. And there is not one, but there are 4 pots or the golden pictures there in the lotus feet. And then there is fish, there is conch, there is bow. So there are different symbols, lotus. So these symbols we'll be discussing tomorrow along with the continuation of this verse. Okay.
Thank you,
all.